Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got a very interesting short little unboxing video to share with you guys. I have already been in this box. In fact, you guys have already seen this knife on a video that I did here recently, and the main reason is because it came in late on a Friday afternoon, and I had a video that I was working on, and I did not have time to do the initial unboxing and first impressions. So I wanted to do that. I wanted to share with you guys my initial thoughts, because truthfully, I do consider this to be one of the best knives that came out in 2024, and I'm really excited about it. Thank you so much to my patrons for supporting me. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex and on TikTok, way over here today, at _metal_complex. So, funny thing about this, I had specifically requested, I asked I said, are you guys going to send me one of these? Because they send me a lot of stuff. And they said, not sure if one's going to be available. And I took that as probably not. So I went ahead and bought this. I paid for it, full price, bought it off Knife Center. I'll link it in the description. It's available. You can definitely pick it up. And then WE emailed me back and said, yeah, we're going to go ahead and send you one. So we'll do a giveaway for the one that they send. But this is the one that I'm keeping. So what is this? This is the WE Knives and Dalibor Bergam Attor. Didn't time that right. It should be saying the name of the knife as I pull it out of the box. But this is the Attor. If you don't know who Dalibor Bergam is, you definitely should familiarize yourself with Dalibor. He makes knives out of Croatia. And when I say he makes knives, I don't mean like, he designs them and then like has a machine like spit them out, which is fine. There's lots of really great knives that are made that way. Dalibor makes his own San Mai. He makes his own titanium zirconium Damascus, I guess. It'd be like Zircotai, right? He makes his own special stuff, creates it. Then he takes those blocks and turns them into knives. Some of the most insane knives you have ever seen. I currently have a custom on order with Dalibor that I've been waiting a few months on. Very excited. It should be absolutely spectacular. But he does all this and he makes integrals. We've looked at some of Dalibor's work on this channel before. And it's really impressive. I've been a fan of Dalibor's work for years and years and years. It is so cool and so unexpected that he would collab with WE Knives to make, honestly, I think one of the coolest knives that they have ever made. So this is an integral. Absolutely beautiful. We have WE's Silver Bead Blast. I'm trying to keep my fingerprints off of it. Truthfully, the finish is very even, very beautiful. Anything that looks like, unevenness or it looks like a flaw in the finish is not. It's literally just my fingerprints. But that Silver Bead Blast is absolutely beautiful. These are contoured. The whole frame is a contoured one-piece frame. We have a really beautiful polished pivot collar around the pivot, and we have polished thumb studs. These are all things that if I described them to you without showing you the knife, you'd think, yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. But when it's applied in this form, it really does come out being incredibly unique. Dalibor always does the hole here. A lot of his work, a lot of people say like Dalibor, a lot of his stuff looks kind of like Sebastian Berengi's work, right? And if you go there to his Instagram, you'll understand why that is. They're friends, to put it mildly, but there's a lot more backstory to that for sure. But that's one of those things you just kind of learn when you go to his Instagram. But we have that nice wide opening hole that works out really, really well. We have beautiful, not necessarily lines that are lock in, but plenty of space to be able to choke up here. Look at this little tiny sharpening tool. There's such a cool little detail. But yeah, you have a little choke up spot here. No jimping. I think this was definitely a design that was, absolutely functional, but definitely supposed to be, very beautiful to look at, very continuous sort of flow, not interrupted by jimping or anything like that. And I love, of course, that these studs, the thumb studs, are the blade stops, which you can use to deploy the knife. I love knives that utilize both thumb studs and the opening hole. I just love that. So this design language really speaks to me. I'm also a big fan of integrals. This particular knife is CPM 20CV. They do coated and uncoated, right? The overall length, I haven't done any specs here for you guys. I'm going to do that here real quick. It's a big knife, but not a huge knife. The overall length is coming in at about 8 1/4. Blade length, 3.5 inches, and then your cutting edge is about 3 1/4. So right there, basically what I consider to be a full-size knife. I want to weigh it for you guys as well. It's an integral titanium frame, but nowhere near the heaviest integral that I've ever experienced. I mean, far from it. 4.8 ounces, honestly, not bad at all. Couple more interesting elements here. Flipping over to the other side, look how we've got that pivot collar. Super cool, and I believe that lip is the over travel as well. Take a look here. Yeah, that's what it seems like. I don't think that the lock bar insert is the over travel. I think we can actually use a flashlight and see it all the way in there. Normally, it's like right here. But yeah, see what's happening here is the pivot collar and that little tab is actually the over travel, which is really neat. I've seen pivot collars or pivots actually be the over travel before, but not quite in this way. We do, of course, have a steel lock bar insert, that anodized screw. Look at the little relief cuts. So many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, if you're looking at this and thinking there's a glaring... well, in terms of what Metal Complex usually criticizes, there's a glaring flaw. Is he not going to cover that? Does he just love it so much that he's not going to criticize it? Oh yeah, I'm definitely going to criticize it. That pocket clip is ridiculous. Listen, I don't make knives, I don't design knives, right? So if Dalibor's watching, he can totally just be like, that's cool that you think that. I don't really care. That's fine. But for me, personally, this is way too long of a clip, and oh my goodness, the bill. It's funny because I love Dalibor's work. I love it. I'm also a big fan of WE knives. I'm also keenly aware of this step up in effort and quality from WE knives over the last couple of years. Keenly aware of it. This is a beautifully executed knife. It's such an unexpected collaboration. So cool, right? It really just makes the clip stick out like a sore thumb to me. Ergonomically, I'm super aware that it's there. The tip is pointy. It's on, it's not going up into my hand, but there's just so much here. It's just really, really obvious, right? So if I were to take this thing out and use it hard for a long period of time, that clip would definitely start to bother me. In and out of the pants, it's a straight over bill. So you kind of have to assist the knife and your pocket material when you're putting it in the pocket or pulling it back out. It's kind of you kind of have to hold on to both and do this little song and dance to get it in and out. That's personally why I don't like it, right? But it is a milled clip. It's a lot of material, right? It's not like he went cheap or that we went cheap on the clip. You're definitely, in terms of material and flow of the design, right? It's all there. The clip is clearly meant to be, functional enough, but designy and going with the knife, which it does do. I just personally don't like the clip. I wish it was way shorter. Honestly, had we just done this and then just kind of carved it off at the end, I think that would have been great. But okay, outside of the pocket clip, which again, it's not enough to be like, oh, I don't want to buy the knife. Obviously, I looked at that clip and thought, but outside of that, I think this is so cool. This is such a clean looking knife. It's a perfect example of how you can take that clean, some people call it a clean look, a simple look, a minimalist look, right? A lot of times I kind of cringe at that because I go, oh, so it's going to be lazy. Here's a perfect example of a very, very clean design that is so unique and so cool in so many different ways. I love this. I think it's awesome. I wouldn't let the pocket clip bother you, but for some people it will. This is not a review, just a first impressions video. I do want to spend some more time with it before I review it. Obviously, I need to do that before I make my final best of 2024 video. But yeah, as of right now, this is definitely one of the coolest things that I've checked out for in 2024. And the cherry on top is that the base price of this knife is like $378. I think it's right around $380. It's hard enough getting an integral made, even if it is Chinese, right? Getting a contoured integral made at $400 or less. It's not an easy thing to do. I mean, we see like flat ones. You know, people point out like, oh, it's just titanium and 20 CV. Okay, big thing here, integral, right? You can care or not care, or that can be an element that you desire or not desire, but it factually costs more money. It just factually does. Even if you don't want to acknowledge that, it's fine. It still costs more money. But we'll see some less expensive Chinese integrals, and then, you know, they're incredibly simple, or they're small, or they're flat, right? The flat titanium. Contour titanium is going to be much more expensive to do, right? Sometimes we see USA integrals that are approaching that $400 mark, and again, usually the name of the game is super duper simple, right? There's not a lot of extra embellishment. You don't have these special finishes, these special polishes. You definitely aren't going to have the contouring. A lot of times, the closest thing that I can compare to this, truthfully, in terms of an American integral, is the Machine Wise Sonora, which is miraculously only coming in at $650. So my point is that even though this is a Chinese-made integral, it is absolutely spectacular that they got this down to right about $380. I think that's really cool. Obviously, not everybody needs to be going out and spending $380 on a pocket knife, but if you're in that zone, if you're in that territory, and you like integral knives, this should be on your radar. It's really, really cool. Full review coming down the road. This is it for today. Very long-winded unboxing. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex and on TikTok at _metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.